Oh, you're going to want to sit down for this one, because what's coming isn't gossip. It's a revelation from the woman who lived inside the very world Meghan Markle and Prince Harry tried so hard to keep hidden. The same woman who tucked their children into bed, if they were even there to be tucked in at all, has finally spoken, and what she describes doesn't sound like the modern royal love story the world was sold. It sounds like something else entirely. Behind those majestic Montecito gates, the perfect smiles and picture book family life may have been nothing more than an illusion. This isn't a recycled rumor or tabloid speculation. This is straight from someone who saw it firsthand, someone who walked the hallways, folded the clothes, and witnessed the unsettling reality behind the happily ever after. And once you hear what she says about Archie and Lilibet, about Meghan, and about the eerie perfection that filled that home, you'll never look at a single photo of that family the same way again. According to her, when Meghan and Harry left the palace behind, the royal drama didn't vanish, it just found a new stage. The old marble corridors of London were replaced with polished California marble, but the tension, the control, and the secrecy didn't go anywhere. They only grew stronger. From the outside, the Sussex mansion gleamed with luxury, white roses, sunlight, and carefully curated charm. But inside, the people who worked there whispered about something else entirely. They said it didn't feel like a home. It felt like a movie set. Every move rehearsed. Every laugh timed. Every appearance choreographed. The nanny says she realized very quickly that this wasn't an ordinary job, and Meghan wasn't looking for an ordinary caregiver. Meghan wanted control, not just over the children's lives, but over every single person who stepped foot inside that mansion. From the very first interview, it became clear that the job came with strange, almost surreal conditions. Candidates weren't judged only for their experience or reliability. They were measured for something else, something personal, even invasive. The number one rule? The nanny couldn't be too attractive. No stylish charm, no striking looks, no natural magnetism that might draw even a hint of attention away from Meghan. It wasn't about jealousy, at least not in the dramatic tabloid sense. It was about control of the image. Meghan wanted to be the focal point of every camera lens, every public appearance, every whisper of admiration. Behind closed doors, those who participated in the hiring process said Meghan's notes during interviews revealed her intentions. Blend in completely. That was the command. It wasn't just about professionalism, it was about invisibility. The perfect nanny wouldn't just take care of the children, she would disappear into the background of Meghan's world. On paper, the listing looked innocent enough: experience, discretion, flexibility. But the real checklist, the one to...
Don't you miss that feeling, getting lost in a story that feels like it was written just for you? If your heart needs a little magic, click on the link in I-button or in the description or pinned comment. It's waiting at infowebster.com. Go feel something again.
Discussed behind closed doors, painted a different picture, one of a woman who must have no family of her own, no relationships, and no distractions. Every applicant had to be available 24/7, no exceptions. If the phone rang in the middle of the night, you were expected to show up smiling, no matter the hour. And forget about your own home life. The Sussex household required complete devotion. No spouse, no boyfriend, no children. Just loyalty to Meghan and Harry. It was less of a nanny job and more like stepping into a secret society, one built around obedience and image maintenance. And then there was the hidden test, a detail that sent chills through even the most seasoned domestic staff. Every candidate who made it past the initial rounds was invited for what appeared to be a trial shift. On the surface, it looked like a practical evaluation, spending a day in the home, interacting with the family, and showing how they handled the children. But according to multiple insiders, what the candidates didn't know is that they were being filmed. Hidden cameras placed strategically throughout the home captured everything: the tone of their voice, their posture, how they treated other staff, even how they reacted when they thought no one was watching. It wasn't about safety. It was about surveillance. By the time Meghan and Harry met the finalists face-to-face, they already knew everything they needed to know, not from conversations, but from footage. Every smile and hesitation had been studied. The final meeting, according to the insider, wasn't an interview at all. It was a performance review based on hours of secret observation. The goal wasn't just to find someone trustworthy, it was to find someone submissive, someone who could exist under constant watch without breaking. Harry, at least at the beginning, had pushed for something more traditional, a Norland nanny, like the ones who had cared for royal children for generations. Those women came from the elite British Norland College, known for discipline, discretion, and a deep understanding of royal protocol. It's the same kind of nanny who once helped raise Harry and William. But Meghan reportedly refused. She wanted to distance their new life from anything that even smelled of palace tradition. No stiff uniforms, no clipped British manners. She wanted something California fresh. A young, modern caregiver who would fit seamlessly into the aesthetic of their sunny new lives. To some, that sounded liberating, a rejection of outdated royal formality. But to those who saw how it unfolded, it marked the beginning of something much more unsettling. That choice wasn't about freedom, it was about control, about building a new kingdom where every rule, every tone, every smile was dictated not by the crown, but by Meghan herself. Then came the testimony that shook everyone who worked behind those gates. One of the household maids, a woman who cleaned those vast rooms 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, revealed something that stopped even her fellow staff in their tracks. She swears that during all her months of service, she never once saw Meghan pregnant, not with Archie, not with Lilibet. She never saw a baby bump, never witnessed a doctor's visit, never even noticed the physical signs one would expect. And she's not alone. Other staff members quietly echoed the same thing. Meghan's public glow didn't match the private reality. The maid said she had no interest in feeding gossip. She only wanted to tell the truth of what she witnessed, or more accurately, what she didn't. When she saw photos of Meghan cradling a visible bump in public, she said she couldn't reconcile it with the version she saw every day, a version that looked nothing like an expectant mother. But that wasn't the only mystery haunting those marble halls. For a home said to revolve around 2 children, the staff insists it was eerily silent. No laughter, no crying, no toys scattered around. No sign of life from the little ones at all. The nanny claims she rarely, if ever, saw Archie or Lilibet. Meals were cooked for them, rooms prepared for them, but the children themselves? Absent. And when the now famous Netflix documentary aired, the staff could hardly believe what they were watching. The footage of Harry, Meghan, and Archie in a garden, the laughter, the golden sunlight, the perfect candid shots. The maid said it looked nothing like the home she knew. The layout didn't match. The furniture was different. The lighting was all wrong. To her, it wasn't a glimpse of family life, it was a movie scene. A beautifully staged illusion filmed to convince the world that everything was normal, happy, wholesome. Inside the real mansion, she says, it was anything but. Staff were required to hand over their phones at the gate. Bags were checked daily. No one was allowed to take photos or even mention the family's private affairs. What the world saw as privacy, the people inside called suppression. Every word monitored, every movement tracked. And over time, the home began to feel less like a family space and more like a fortress designed to hide something or someone. Even the now iconic Oprah interview had its own layer of artificiality, according to those who were there. The chicken coop that melted the world's heart? The humble garden stroll where Meghan and Harry spoke about simple living? The maid says it was nothing of the sort. Yes, the coop existed, a picturesque little pen with neatly arranged straw and picture-perfect hens, but Meghan was the only one who ever visited it. Archie and Lilibet, the children the world imagined running through the garden in little boots, were never there. Not once. That heartwarming moment was just another set piece. A staged tableau to sell the fantasy of grounded parenthood and natural joy. By this point, the staff began to question everything. Why the secrecy? Why the constant surveillance? Why so many restrictions if there was nothing to hide? Every new rule, every confiscated phone, every silenced conversation only deepened the sense that the walls of that home were guarding something much darker than privacy. When asked about Meghan's presence, the maid described her as a woman of 2 faces. In public, she radiated warmth and sincerity. In private, She was exacting, often cold, and always in control. She rarely saw Harry smile naturally. He kept to himself, retreating to his office after tense arguments that echoed through the house. "It didn't feel like love," she said quietly. "It felt like business. A partnership built on image management, not intimacy." And at the heart of it all were two children who, despite being the centerpiece of the public narrative, seemed like ghosts within their own home. The nanny's words, echoed by others, strike a chilling note. "We cleaned their rooms, we prepared their meals, but we never saw them." Whether it was a matter of secrecy, security, or something more, no one knew for sure. But everyone could feel it, the eerie emptiness, the staged warmth, the sense that everything they were told to believe about this family was a story being told for the cameras. The Netflix series, the interviews, the smiling family portraits, they all painted a world of harmony and hope. But the people behind the curtain tell a story of silence, isolation, and performance. The nanny says she doesn't seek attention or money. In fact, she expects backlash. She knows speaking out will make her a target. But she says it plainly, "I will not say I saw what I did not see. And I did not see those children." It's a sentence that sends chills through anyone who hears it because it forces a question that even the tabloids are afraid to fully ask. What if the fairy tale isn't just embellished, but entirely staged? Meghan and Harry have built a brand on being misunderstood, persecuted, and finally free. But inside that freedom, if these accounts are true, lies a reality more controlled and more suffocating than the one they escaped. Every smile, every camera angle, every supposed moment of authenticity might have been a meticulously planned performance. By the time the maid left the Sussex household, she said she didn't know what was real anymore. "They lived in a story," she whispered, "and we were just extras." So the next time you see a glossy photo of Harry and Meghan walking hand in hand through their sunlit garden, surrounded by laughter, love, and perfectly filtered calm, you might remember the voices of those who lived behind that lens. The ones who say it wasn't a family home. It was a stage. A production so perfect that it erased the very humanity it was meant to showcase. And as the former nanny and the maid have now dared to break their silence, one unsettling question lingers in the air, a question no carefully curated image can hide forever. What are Meghan and Harry really protecting behind those Montecito walls? Because in the end, the fairy tale everyone believed in may not have been a love story at all. It may have been a script written, rehearsed, and performed for a world too enchanted to see what was truly happening behind the curtain.